I'm Riley Green, and this is Like a Farmer.
Hey y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to Season 2 of Like a Farmer. No other way to open up this season with the guy who some people say we kind of look alike. That's Mr. Riley Green. Riley, thanks for coming on the show today, man.
Appreciate you having me.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for letting me into your home here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Great spot.
I always love doing stuff like this at my house. It works out great. One reason I built this barn was so songwriters would come down. We use this space to write, so I didn't have to go to Nashville every other week to write songs. And it's been a really cool place to have. And obviously, podcasts and interviews and Zooms and all that stuff that was going on during COVID, this was very helpful.
Yeah, my team appreciates that too. So let's start with Jacksonville, Alabama. Tell me about, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a Florida boy, so I know Jacksonville, Florida, where the Gators usually beat the Bulldogs. But tell me about Jacksonville, Alabama.
Yeah, I think Wikipedia said I was from Jacksonville, Florida for a long time. It's a small town. We got a college, Jacksonville State University. Grew up big fan of them. Ended up going and playing a little bit of ball there, and did a little bit of college there. And that kind of was the start of my music career. Was playing in bars and fraternity parties and all that kind of stuff. But we're right outside of Jacksonville, a little community called Pleasant Valley, and every bit of my family lives within about 2 miles of where we sit right now. So it's a hard place for me to leave. And one reason I have this farm and love coming back so much is a lot of my inspiration comes from this area, and kind of get to see everybody at one time. It's nice.
That's awesome. And you hit on this a lot, Riley, and I was fortunate enough to meet Pops today, your dad, and like what you just said, you're here in Jacksonville, Alabama, and all of the family lives right next to each other. I come from Bartow, Florida. All the family lives right next to each other. We're cattle and citrus back home, and you're family oriented, and that's one of my favorite things about you. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit is family. And you talked about athletes too, and I know you've got some athletes in the family. You're the youngest of 3, correct?
That's right.
You got 2 older sisters who are both athletes.
That's right.
So y'all have got some athletic bones in the family.
Yeah, Casey and Lindy both played volleyball, basketball, softball. Lindy played a little bit of volleyball in college and down in LaGrange, Georgia. And that was the thing for us was sports growing up. I played 3 sports, and matter of fact, we didn't have Pee Wee football in Jacksonville, so I played soccer until I was in 7th grade. Grandparents never missed a game, and that was really my passion. Music wasn't really a thing for me. My granddaddy Buford was a big music lover, loved Roy, Cuff, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Hank Williams, and when I was with him, we'd sit around and play an old Epiphone guitar. He had it hanging up in here somewhere. And that was kind of how we spent our time together. My other granddaddy was the outdoorsman, fisherman, hunter, and that's what we did together. So it was a cool kind of both sides of it. But sports was definitely a huge part of my life growing up. And, the end of my football career was kind of the beginning of my music career in a way.
That's awesome. So when you think about going back to family, and this is where I think me and you kind of resonate again, is you're a mama's boy. We talk about it a lot, and my team's done great research. So when you think about your mom, there's 2 stories that kind of hit home to me, and there's an egg story that I guess maybe you broke some birds' eggs and you had to replace them.
Oh, yeah, that is deep. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I don't know how little I was. We had those hanging plants, and I had to climb up in a chair to get in them, so I guess I was 6, 7, I don't know, but I think my dad had showed me where they had like a bird making a nest, and I was going up looking at it, showing all my friends and stuff, and I think I somehow broke one of the eggs, and I felt awful, so I got an egg out of the kitchen to put in there with it, thinking nobody would notice. Of course, it was 3 times the size, and that one ended up squishing like the other eggs in there. So yeah, that was. My mom was not afraid to whip me. We got whipped, so.
I'm with you on that.
I don't know if she got me for that one, but there was several lessons I had to learn the hard way growing up. And I can remember her saying when I got to be 22, her job was done. I survived. And I don't know if a lot of people were like this, but I think I was a little rowdier when I was younger. I kind of leveled out a little bit when I got in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
So fortunately, my radio and career success wasn't until my late 20s, so I could handle it a little better.
There you go. And then there was a goat story too, didn't you? You were gifting your mom a goat.
Oh yeah. I bought my mom a goat off a trade line. That's where people call in, sell washers and dryers. And,
we got the shopper back.
Yeah. And I was still doing construction at the time, and I just remember saying, I need to find a goat by sundown. I called in Trade Line and gave him my number, and some guy had a goat, and I went and bought it, and it was a little goat, but it was an old goat, like a pygmy goat or whatever. And I bought it and brought it home, and immediately when I let it out of the kennel, it took off, and I chased it all down the neighborhood, around the neighbor's house several times. Finally, like, wore it out and caught it. But my mom she's never said she wanted a goat, never asked for a goat or anything.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty interesting few hours. I think we ended up putting it in my sister's backyard, fenced in backyard, and it like lived over in these like big cane break they had over there. And I don't know where it is now.
That's great. Jacksonville, Alabama. You could write a book on stories like that.
Oh yeah.
There's
Probably
another
still out there somewhere that goes.
Yeah. There's another famous family member that I got to meet today, and his name is Carl. And one of the most famous dogs, especially via social media. I mean, how has Carl changed your life?
Well, he's made it a lot easier in a lot of ways. You know, my meet and greets doesn't matter if I'm there or not, as long as Carl's there. There used to be signs in the crowd that said things to me, and now they're all to Carl.
Yeah.
People bring gifts, handmade scarves and stuff with his name embroidered on them. It's pretty crazy, and it's almost like he knows it too. We did a content shoot down here for Purina, which originally started with my yellow lab Jazz.
Yep.
And Carl made his way into a lot of the shots. Somehow he waddles his little self over there, and he knows he's famous, I think, at this point.
I think going into Riley's new tour, it shouldn't be, there's no more Taylor Swift like friendship bracelets. I think it needs to be like Carl collars.
Yeah. I mean, I need to see all the people in the crowd wearing collars, collars, but it's a thing, maybe. I don't know. He could definitely start a trend, I'll say that.
There you go. We need to figure out a trend for that new tour. Grandpa's Never Die. One of your many songs that really hit home to me. Where does that, and you mentioned that you've got two grandfathers, and one really introduced you to sports and outdoors, and one introduced you to music. Like, where did that song originate from? And
well, I was really close with both my granddaddies. My granddaddy Buford passed away in 2010, and when my granddaddy Lyndon passed away, I was in Vegas, I think, NFR, maybe something like that, and I got on a plane and I wrote the title down. It was "I Wish Grandpa's Never Died," and I remember I had a different single at country radio. I think it was "In Love by Now." We shot a music video for it in Belize, like it was rolled out to be the next single, and I didn't write it with any thoughts of it being even on my record, much less a single or a hit song like it became, but I just wanted to write something that was kind of a tribute to them, and I sat down and I really just thought about if I could talk to them with all of the things that I've got to see, because I had never been on a plane before I signed a record deal in 2018. So my life had changed quite a bit. I saw a lot of the world, and I think knowing the values that they taught me and then kind of what I learned from being out in the world, I really wrote it from the perspective of, you know, I wish the price of gas was low and cotton was high, and those values and things that we really was a big deal, you know, to us. And like I said, it was a real personal song. I think I had a little too much to drink one night in Georgia and played it, and somebody videoed it and put it on YouTube. We got a couple million views in like a week.
That's awesome.
And I went to the label and said, hey, we might need to cut this song. So it was, you know, nothing that, it was never anything that it became. I never expected it to be what it became, but it's been something that's definitely the biggest song in my career.
Yeah,
you know?
It hit home. And we're going to talk about this a couple of times, but Riley Green resonates with what we're doing with Like a Farmer, and it's to celebrate the farmer but educate the people. And what you write about, whether it's family and farming and sports and being outdoors, I mean, that's a huge reason why I'm so pumped to have you open up season 2, because, and you just said it, like, okay, I've never been on a plane until 18 when my music career started taking. I'm the same way. Like, I had never been on a plane, was scared of flying, believe it or not. Just announced that. And then I start this show 12 months ago, and now I'm 18 nights a month. I'm on over 80 flights a year. Like, it's just cool what you have to do to go tell a story. Yeah,
it's quite a lifestyle change, and I would say personally, you know, the travel's the toughest part about what I do. You know, I'm a homebody. Obviously, having a place like this, you know, I want to be here as much as I can, and I always say, you know, you travel 12 hours to go play for an hour, you know, but that 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the crowd singing "I Wish Grandpa's Never Died" back to you makes all that worth it. That's something that never gets old. And playing shows is something I've always enjoyed. That's never felt like a job. Writing songs has never felt like a job. So, that's one reason I think I'll be doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Even with the stresses of that type of lifestyle, it's something that I really enjoy.
For sure. What makes you think that we keep talking about this cool place you have here, and you love spending time here. What and why do you think you made the decision to not just go all in and full-time live in Nashville, but to kind of go back and forth like what you're doing?
Personally, I don't like traffic. Nashville's never really been my scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't go up the way a lot of people do, where they go and kind of beat the streets playing those shows in Broadway and meeting the right people and getting a manager and sitting down taking meetings with the record label. I'd never really been to Nashville. I played shows around here, I think that I just really enjoy this area, and obviously having my family close is a huge part of it. But from a professional standpoint, I think it's hugely helpful that I don't move to Nashville. I think I got a lot of my inspiration for my writing from this area, how I grew up here, and I think that's what got me where I am. So probably now more than ever, it's important to stay here and spend as much time as I can here to just keep that mindset of, where do I get my inspiration?
Totally agree.
And it's so hard to have blinders on in that town. I say a lot that you have a song that doesn't make it up the charts, and you start thinking, man, well, this guy's doing this, and that's really working. Maybe I need to write with these writers. Maybe I need to write a song kind of like that. Whereas when you're here, and how I started my career, I just wrote songs about what I knew and what I saw every day, and I would play them, and if fans liked it, I'd say, man, they really like this kind of song or this kind of line, and the fans really help shape my songwriting.
Yeah.
So it's really important that I spend as much time here as I can.
That's awesome. I want to go back to growing up and your athletic career. And so you played basketball, baseball, and football. At what point in time did you say, okay, I need to maybe give up the basketball and baseball?
Well, when they didn't offer me to go play in college, I played all the way through high school and loved all of it. Baseball was tough for me because playing quarterback in football, I was so used to being the guy all the time.
For sure.
And I played safety on defense, so I was on the field constantly. And baseball is one of those I pitched a little bit, so there were times when I wouldn't be in the game. And that was really tough for me. Basketball, you're in that spotlight the whole time, and I always enjoyed basketball a lot.
You're still balling every now and then.
I used to, man. It's tough on the ankles now. But I used to go play pickup basketball at the church all the time. But football was my favorite sport by far, and the chance to go play a little bit of college ball in the town I grew up in, in that college I was such a fan of, was something that was pretty important to me. So, I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the school. I think I learned a lot of accountability from playing as an 18-year-old kid, having to show up at 5:30 workouts and those meetings and all that. I think that helped me a lot in even my music career. But I really struggled to go to class.
Yep.
And that was kind of the end of my college career, was when I started staying out all night playing in bars. I wasn't making it to that 9:15 class in the morning. That was when I started shifting towards maybe this is something else I want to be doing.
Musicians coming out of that school, right? You've got Jamie Johnson, Riley Green, and then
Randy Owen.
Randy Owen.
Yeah, and Randy does a lot for the university. And it's been really crazy for me to see our relationship grow from just that, just the Jacksonville State tie. And, the dudes, they got 50-something number ones. The group Alabama does. I did a song with Randy Owen on a couple albums ago. And it's pretty surreal to be able to just kind of sit down with that guy and even pick his brain a little bit to the things that he's been through with his career and all the charity work he does with St. Jude and how he chooses to spend his time, and he's still on the road. It's pretty crazy. I always struggle to think I'd be doing this in 20 years, and he's doing it 40 years later.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. What would you think when it comes to playing sports, growing up in rural America, those kind of life lessons that you learned, how do you think you use that into your music career today?
Well, I can remember thinking that I was kind of the last generation that really worked with their dad during the summer. Like, And a lot of my buddies didn't that I really grew up with, but like if I wasn't playing sports, I was working.
Yeah.
If Saturday, Dad would get me up in the morning and like bargain me with a biscuit from McDonald's or Jack's if I'd go help him build a deck or something. And there was definitely a lot of that. Like I wasn't afraid to work when I got out of school, and I certainly didn't think I would have a music career. I assumed I'd be framing houses my whole life.
Because you were doing construction, right?
Yeah, up until I signed the deal in 18 and enjoyed that kind of work really. But I think a lot of that accountability from sports, having people that count on you, rely on you as a team, you know, there's that aspect. Because I think with any career, there comes a point, as fun as playing music shows is, it's still a business. There's still a lot of it that's hard.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of letdowns and a lot of doors that don't get open for you. So it's important to be able to realize that there are other people that are riding on this wave too. You know, all your band, crew, employees, and you know, even for me, it's motivating to think that I can help my family out in some way with having some success in a music career. You know, and my dad doesn't do construction work anymore; works on my farm. For me, which he might still work just as hard.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
It's nice to know that, you know, the work that I'm putting in on the road and these shows that, you know, sometimes are a struggle, are still building towards something bigger, which is every time I go get on stage, it might be somebody's first time hearing me play I Wish Grandpa's Never Died or whatever it is, and trying to bring the same energy every night and put on the best show I can. And it's the same way with sports. You know, it's going out even when your ankle was sore, your shoulder was sore, whatever it was, and put it all on the line on the field. It's kind of that same thing. And I think that getting up every day to go to get on a roof in Alabama heat and deck plywood was a pretty tough thing to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of that that's connected. I think it's just a little bit of a work ethic and like I say, that accountability was something I didn't have at 18 years old.
Totally.
That I probably got a lot from a college sport.
Yeah, and the team aspect, you just mentioned that, which is super cool. And I will say, being around the music industry just a few years I have been, you've got such a great team surrounding you. And whether it be Josh or Travis, and some of the guys grew up with you too as a kid. So it's just super cool how you bring them along with you because you trust them, because you know their work ethic. Yeah,
I was really fortunate to run into some of the right people when I first started going to town, and it takes a while. You know, it's I've got some great players, but probably more importantly, great guys in my band, and I think that's something that you realize. There's a lot of people that can do the jobs that need to be done on the road, but getting people that you like, trust, and see you can just get along with 150 days out of the year is pretty important. And you know, I'd love to try to bring my buddies out on the road and find a job they can do. It's not rocket science. At one point in time, I ran the sound for my own shows, and I can't imagine what that was like because I have no idea what any button on a soundboard does. And, you know, I want to try to find people that can benefit from the awesome success that we've had and the how fortunate we are to be able to go travel and see what we see and do the things we do on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something that me and you have in common, because obviously I can't sing worth a damn, and I'm not athletic at all. I can play golf. We need to maybe link up on that. We played in the Blue Otter golf tournament. Yeah, y'all came in
second.
Yeah, y'all shot what, 18?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch the team that came in first next year. I'm gonna
you think 19? Because it was tough. We shot 15. It was tough.
We played well and came in second. So. And I had some ringers on my team.
I heard.
Yeah.
Trust me, I texted.
It wasn't because I played well.
Yeah. I texted a good friend of mine, Smiley Kaufman, who he was on tour, and now he's doing some broadcasts. And I texted him, I'm like, dude, I got to get you out to Nashville next year. These guys are bringing ringers, and I need to compete. That was fun. But I want to talk a little bit about hunting. The duck, man. Where did that come from?
You know, when Instagram became a thing, I don't know if Riley Green was taken or if I just thought it was cool because I was so into duck hunting. That was really my first love as far as hunting goes. My dad didn't hunt when I was growing up, and he even thought it was kind of strange for me that I would he'd have to drag me out of bed to go to work, but I'd get up at 4:30 to go trek through a swamp to maybe see a duck, you know, and I fell in love with that. I remember Google Earth had just became a thing, and I would get on there and I'd look and see where these creeks made a swamp, and I'd go see if I could get permission to hunt, and there's not a lot of ducks around here, and nobody was really doing it. So I found a lot of little places, got some leases, and started chasing them around. And then I, you know, was fortunate to meet some guys that had been out to Arkansas and had a place up around Jonesboro, and that was when I really fell in love with it. So that hunting and outdoor world really just gave me a whole new passion after sports.
Totally. Shout out Tyler Jordan, Realtree, man. I love that hat. And I've been fortunate enough to be invited to Maple Ranch in Missouri, which we've talked about a little bit, and unbelievable duck hunting out there. And then Adam Putnam, my uncle, who is our commissioner of ag in Florida, now is the CEO of Ducks Unlimited. So it's been super cool to kind of have that whole duck world open up to me. And you talk about friends and hanging out and being able to go shoot some ducks out of the sky. I mean, there's nothing better.
Yeah, I always enjoyed hunting, and I think there was a little competitive aspect to it, even from the sports background, that I always enjoyed trying to, do the little things that would give me a better hunt, whatever that was, where it was deer hunting and picking the tree and hanging stands and checking cameras and all that. So now I think I enjoy it for a different reason. It's that disconnection from the crazy reality of a touring lifestyle and going places where my cell phone doesn't work and hiding out in the woods for a few days is so beneficial for me. But duck hunting was always that thing where it's the camaraderie and hanging out. You don't got to be quiet. You can put 10 people in the blind with you and cook breakfast, and it really doesn't matter if you even see a duck. It's a good time in a duck blind. So I enjoy it for a different reason now.
What do you think I'm following you vicariously through social media. You do a lot of hunting, a lot of cool hunting. What's your favorite type of hunting right now?
That answer changes all the time. I think when turkey season gets here, it's chasing turkeys around northeast Alabama. But I'm always pretty fired up when bow season comes in. When it starts to get cold, I start thinking about ducks. But right now, I'm wanting to go get in a tree and I'm checking constantly, looking at my phone, seeing what's on my cell cameras. I got them all over the place. And, I don't get tired of it, and chasing whitetail around with a bow is something I haven't ever got tired of.
Have you pretty much just laid the rifle down and just gone all bow?
There's still places I go that, Texas and Oklahoma even, and, we do some deer hunting with Realtree down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
At Honeybreak, and that's all WRP, and it's, trees that are the height of this room. You couldn't put a stand in. It's just flat, 30,000 acres down there. And so you're not really set up to bow hunt. So there's still some places I'll take a rifle with me, but my passion is trying to get it done with a bow.
100%. It's the athlete in you. What's a dream hunt that you'd want to go on?
Man, I was fortunate to get to go and elk hunt Montana with a bow. Couple of years I drew and couldn't really put together enough days to get it done. That's what's tough now is I've got plenty of opportunity to go some really amazing places. It's just finding the time to do it. And I can't rationalize taking off from playing a show somewhere to go hunt. And that's just one day I will. But man, now for me, it's like go find a cabin in somewhere in southern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And just hide out and hunt all day.
That's awesome.
That's where I'd be right now.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, hunting season 2, like wake up early, go hunt, get back, coffee, breakfast, game days on, watching college football.
Oh, I mean, I go into nap mode during hunting season. I got to have a nap during the day.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Another hobby of yours, and honestly, I'm not even calling it a hobby because I think you take this as work, especially getting ready for hunting season and where we're at now. Farming is really big in your life. And you talk a lot about farmers, and that's the biggest thing we're doing is like we're trying to celebrate who the farmer is and have a lifestyle brand that celebrates them as well as educate the people on what they do. Why do you feel so passionate about farming?
Well, when I first started running around in this area, it was where this barn sits was my great uncle Bill's property. We called it the Rabbit Farm. My granddaddy Buford gave it that name because he said it was only good for growing rabbits. There's dirt out here, and it was 141 acres. After my great uncle Bill passed away, I bought it from his daughters, and I've bought several parcels around here. And my motivation has always been to try to let this place look like it did when I was a kid. E.O. Green that runs a store over here still does all his own farming, and he's 92 or 93, I think. And it's a way of life in this area.
Yep.
And it was very different for me when I started going up in the Midwest and doing some hunting up there was I saw this isn't really farming like it is in a lot of those places. We've still got, we call them mountains, they're hills.
Yep.
So we don't have these big ag fields you see up there. So we got a lot of hay farmers and, some beans, a lot of cattle farmers out here. And I just love the feeling that I got seeing people go and put the work in and see it at the end of the day. I love that about construction. I love it about farming is when you plow a field up or you cut hay or bale hay or whatever it is, you get to see what you did that day. And you got a little sense of pride in that kind of work. And I just would love to see that lifestyle passed on to my kids, and even my nieces and nephews I have now running around on this farm means so much to me to be able to see them enjoy that like I did when I was a kid.
That's awesome. And I want everybody to know, Riley, he's opening up season 2, episode 1, but we have a merch line coming out with Riley, and I've got the hat on right now. I've got the RG with the Like a Farmer logo. But we're bringing a farmer to one of your shows this year. Like, I want people to know that this is what you do, and like you're bringing this farming lifestyle to every show that you play, and it's so cool to have people. And there's two sides of it. You've got a lot of your audience who are farmers and they come from rural America, but the flip side is you're bringing a new demographic to your lifestyle, and people are learning what farming is and what hunting is. Like, how are you're excited about that, right? I mean, we're bringing a farmer to one of your shows. We get to celebrate them.
This is probably not a great example, but I had a tour manager a few years ago, and we went over to my president of my record label's house. He had a house in Franklin, Tennessee, and he had about 10 acres out there. And we were sitting there waiting on him to get home, and I was like, man, I want to go walk around these woods and like see. There's got to be some deer out here. People are doing all this suburban hunting now. And so I went walking around, and he said, this boy's from Georgia. And he said, man, I've been in Nashville so long, I don't remember the last time I just walked in the woods. And I thought, that's so miserable.
Are you kidding?
But I mean, it's really something you got to think about is people that live in Nashville, the closest they get is going to the park and walking their dog or whatever it is. And that's what I love about coming here. And the lifestyle that I have is there's something about waking up in the woods, watching the sun come up, or, just being outside like that and getting something from the land. And I do think it's not a lost art by any means, but there is a generation that needs to learn about that. The same way I talk about working with your dad. You don't see people going and learning a trade like you used to.
Yep.
And I hate to see that go away. And that's why this is such a great partnership for me, is to be able to kind of tell my story through songs and also try to talk about a way of life through these songs that maybe people aren't aware of.
I'm excited. I really am. Let's talk a little bit about music. So Grandpa Buford, he's the one that got you into music, and you have a charity set up after him, right?
It's actually named after both of my granddaddies, and it's a foundation that we're gonna, take a lot of portions of ticket sales and put into and find some.
That's awesome.
Some charities that really mean something to us. I wanted to, we've done some stuff for the military, and obviously both my granddaddies were in the military, and big supporter of that. But I want to be able to, when something kind of moves me or I see something in my travels that I want to kind of gear towards, that we can kind of take that money in the foundation and try to help out in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Granddaddy Buford kind of brought you into music, and you started playing at, was it Brothers, Heroes,
Loco Mex, anywhere they'd have me in Jacksonville.
Was it Bellum's? Is that one?
Pelham's, Pelham's Bar. Yeah, that was there was only 2 bars in Jacksonville. One of them only served beer. That was Brothers, and across the street was Pelham's. So you'd walk back if you wanted something a little stronger.
Yeah.
Back and forth. But man, there was a lot of, I would say for 5 or 6 years I played very locally every week, and definitely cut my teeth and kind of learned the writing craft from a lot of those shows.
When did you first realize, like, hey, I actually think I can sing? That you can go full time, but that you can sing. Because I read something that maybe there's like an "Oh My Darling" on a family trip or.
Oh yeah, that was when I was a little kid. Yeah, I used to sing the song at the end of the Robin Hood that had Kevin Costner in it. Everything I do, I do it for you. That was like my little karaoke song. But I was like a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever thought singing was my talent. My sister Lindy has a great voice. She was in choir, a really good singer. I kind of just thought I was good enough to get by. I'd obviously been places and seen people that I thought maybe weren't quite as good as me that could. And, there were a lot of artists that I grew up listening to that I didn't think had the greatest voice in the world that was more unique. Mm-hmm. Robert Earl Keen, even Willie Nelson. There was times when I thought, man, he was like almost off tune or like out of time. But I thought that was so cool. Chris Knight was one of those guys. And I I really got a lot of my confidence from playing at the Golden Saw, which was my great-grandparents' house that me and my granddaddy turned into a music hall. You know, I was a little kid singing with a bunch of old people, and they were cheering every time. I thought, man, I must be good. So I've never thought I was this great vocalist, but I thought if I could write songs that was unique to me and make people feel some kind of emotion, that would be what set me apart.
That's awesome. And when did you say, okay, I need to focus on this full time?
I think I'm still telling myself that. I struggle to get out of the woods enough to focus on as much as I should. But, it definitely saw some opportunity, you know, even kind of early on before signing the deal. I remember a guy calling me from Birmingham that owned a bar called Iron City that held about 1,300 people. And I remember thinking it'd be empty if I went down there and played, but he'd heard my name a lot and wanted me to come play there. And we ended up going and selling like 1,260 tickets or something. And I had no clue anybody knew who I was down there. So, you know, stuff like that was pretty eye-opening. And then, you know, everything was word of mouth. I had a business card with my phone number on it. People would call me from these bars or venues, and I'd go play, and people would show up and know these songs that I'd written. So, you know, songs like Georgia Time, Bury Me in Dixie,
Georgia Time,
Outlaws Like Us, that really, you know, I kind of had a fan base from those songs that I didn't realize, and I think it made me want to be a better songwriter and really motivated me to go write more songs.
Georgia Time might be, you've got a lot of bangers, man, but Georgia Time might be my favorite song. It really is. And I like to tell everybody, I'm still in my mind, when you say Orange and Blue, and I know you're talking about Auburn.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but I tell everybody, dude, you know he's talking about the Gators.
I hear those cheers in Florida, too.
Yeah, I know you do, man.
I try to play both sides of the fence on that kind of stuff. You know, I played a lot of shows in Tuscaloosa, so I was a little quieter about some of that stuff out there. But that was it's such a accidental song to be successful like it is. I think I was 20, 21 years old, something like that, and sat down and wrote that song. And, you know, it was about a girl, true story. And to see that song even today, it was always crazy to me when I started really traveling, seeing people sing, because that's the most regional song I have. It's not only about the state of Alabama, it's about a place in Alabama that's on 2 time zones, which is Phoenix City.
Yeah.
And, you know, grew up hunting down around Camp Hill, and it was so odd to see people relate to that, and it really kind of changed my mindset on songwriting a little bit to go and don't try to be so broad that you can appeal to everybody. The specifics is what makes a lot of songs really cool, and I always thought that as a listener. There's a lot of songs that I loved. Atlantic City, Bruce Springsteen, that was I did a version that was a lot more like the band. But I didn't know what they were talking about in that song. I just thought it was cool, you know, and I think fans are kind of like that.
Man, I'm telling you, Georgia Time. I tell her I'm from Alabama. She said, hell, I am too.
So he's got it. I don't know what he was talking about. Singer, man.
So let's talk about first number one. There was this girl. I mean, where did that come from? And was there a girl? Was that what it was?
I think the only thing that was really true in that song was there was a girl in Tupelo, but it wasn't Tupelo. It was Oxford, Mississippi. I remember going and playing a show out there.
It was in Oxford, you said?
Yeah.
Ole Miss girl, huh?
I played at there was a lot of girls. I played at was it was Rafters or Mr. Feathers or something in there, and Rounders. I don't know what it was. We got on stage. I was playing acoustic first time playing over there, and there was about 500 people in the bar, and the first 300 were just gorgeous girls.
Yeah.
And you know, Ole Miss has got some pretty women.
Do they? Holy moly.
And I remember thinking, like, God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? And so anyway, me and Eric Dillon sat down, and the opening line was kind of inspired by the movie Footloose. I remember they were playing chicken with the tractors. And I thought that was a pretty crazy thing to do, trying to impress a girl. The dude didn't even know how to drive a tractor.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon was on there. And like, foot gets caught and like almost dies. And I just thought, man, that's a cool idea to think about all the crazy things that we do to try to win a girl over. And we wrote the song. Neither one of us thought it was a hit. Obviously, we thought it was something that was pretty catchy and a cool idea. And record labels were already talking to me about, I think I had 4 record deals offered to me from different labels. And we had written that song. I'd already recorded it, planning to put it out myself on my EP. And when I sent that to all the labels, all the deals got a little bit better, you know. So I knew I had something then.
Yeah, that's great. Winning girls over, I think you've done a pretty good job with that.
Well, I pissed a few of them off too. So
yeah, I think you might have. Speaking of that, like what was the you were on? What show was it that you were on?
Redneck Island.
Redneck Island. How did that come about?
Man, I've never thought I'd be on a reality show. I was playing at the Floribama, and a guy came up and said he was a casting agent for a show on CMT. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a host, and it was like a competition show. And I figured if they mentioned that I played music, it'd help me out a little bit. And I went on there and ended up winning the show. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. Not something that I would do again or recommend for that matter, but it was it was pretty wild.
So if The Bachelor called you up,
no, not interested.
Yeah.
That all those shows, they make everybody look so crazy. So I was pretty boring. I slept most of the time, and the producers would come in there and wake me up, be like, "Hey man, we need some B-roll of you doing something. Get up." And so it wasn't really my thing being on camera 24 hours a day.
What is it? So when you won, does that mean like you found somebody, so you won the show?
No, it wasn't like a dating show. It was like a competition, just like athletic, like swimming and fighting and all kind of stuff. And it was 12 guys, 12 girls. You had a girl as your partner, and you competed against each other. So me and the girl won. Little girl named Becky, she was from Louisiana.
Y'all still talking?
Not really, but I mean, I've tried to stay in touch with everybody, I guess.
For sure. That's awesome. What so when you think about when you're on tour, there's been some, in my opinion, some cool moments for you. So most recently back home with me, Tampa, when you gave your dad that beer off the stage at Raymond James, that was cool. And then you bring your nephew Joe on the stage all the time. I mean,
yeah, man, Joe, he's not a shy kid, but he's got moments where he's quiet, you know. And I think the first time was maybe Huntsville, Alabama. We played Von Braun Center, and I went over and was like messing with him during the show while the band was playing. I was like, giving him a hard time, and he was like, he just came out with me, and I couldn't believe it. And he stood next to me. He wouldn't sing. Yeah. He stood next to me while I played something. And, as he got older, we started talking about it. I was like, man, you want to come out? And he's like, I said, I'm not going to sing, but I'll stand with you. So, like, that was his thing, was he would come out. And so, now, if he's ever at a show, I love for him to walk around with me. And anytime I can take attention off myself on the stage, it makes it a little easier. Yeah.
What do you think's been your favorite tour that you've been on, like, opening-wise? Because the first one was Paisley.
And then we did maybe Aldine, Luke Bryan, Dierks Bentley. Luke Holmes Stadium tour would be pretty hard to beat. You don't get a lot of opportunities to go play stadiums.
Dude.
And, I've been such a big fan of Luke for a long time. Obviously, his career's taken off in a way that I don't think anybody could have predicted. So it's really cool to see somebody like that that's had that kind of success in that short amount of time, and watch how passionate fans can be for something like that. And it was a great opportunity. I got in front of a lot of fans that I think kind of aligned well with my fans, and also probably got a few of them from that tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about the new upcoming tour starting soon.
This ain't my last rodeo. Starts in February. Tracy Lawrence on that tour, which is insane. I mean,
insane.
I'm such a big fan of Tracy, and to be able to have him out on the road with me is awesome.
Awesome. And Ella's
great, man. Yep. She's got some really cool stuff and a really unique sound. So excited about that. Obviously, doing the opening tours like that with Luke this year was great and a great opportunity, but I'm always a little stingy. I love playing my own shows. I love playing for people that came to see me play.
Yep.
And it's such a great learning experience for me to play these new songs that I've written in front of those really avid fans and see which ones really stand out.
I'm excited. And you're going, how many shows is it total?
I don't know. You can't ever say how many at this time of year, because they'll end up adding 20 more before it's over with. But
just tell me where I'm going.
Yeah, it'll be a bunch. I know that.
What do you think when you're going on all these shows and you're on the tour bus? What's your go-to snack on the tour bus?
Man, we always have a lot of beef jerky on the bus. It seems like a pretty regular thing. It's pretty much like my hunting pack. Granola bars and beef jerky, that's pretty much it.
Yep. I saw something online the other day of there's a competition going on, your favorite duck blind snack. And I think the championship right now is beef jerky and burritos, breakfast burritos.
Oh, you got breakfast burritos You can't beat that.
You can't beat it.
You can't beat that. That's what I make for breakfast here. I'll make them like, I don't call it meal prep, but I just make a bunch of them, wrap up in tinfoil, and put them in the fridge and eat that all week.
Like bacon, egg, cheese,
sausage, egg, and cheese.
Jalapenos.
Yeah. Edwards Grocery down here. They got they do all their own meat back there, so I go over there and see them first thing when I get in town.
That's awesome. You're on a tour bus a lot, but you also have a big passion for your vehicles. Where did that come from?
I don't know. We're not mechanically inclined at all in my family. My dad's, I don't even think we really changed our own oil growing up.
Yeah.
But I always loved cars, especially old vehicles. My dad had an old, early model Bronco when I was a kid, and I remember seeing pictures of it. And I've had several of them since then. And it's something I do as a hobby on the road. I'm constantly on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever. And I get to travel so much, I'll come across deals, and I mean, I bought several vehicles on the road,
Dude, so you're on Facebook and you just call this number like, hey, this is Riley Green.
Oh, yeah.
Can I buy
Sometimes they know who I am and it's cool. And sometimes they don't care and don't know at all.
Give me the money.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and I try to buy something, drive it a little while, fix it up, flip it, and make a little money like that, and you get to ride around in something cool for a few months.
That's awesome. What's your dream vehicle if you had to choose one?
Man, I may have it. I got a 87 square body Chevrolet pickup truck that's two-tone silver and blue and tan interior, and it's nice, man. It's the prettiest truck I've ever seen.
I need to start getting into that. It's a very expensive hobby, but I need you to maybe guide me on how I can do
man.
that.
Well, you have to go up there and look at it when we get done.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So when you think about these other partnerships, and I love what we're doing going into next year, you've got some cool ones, man. And I go back to what I said earlier. You align yourself there's no fake when it comes to Riley Green. You sing about what you've done or what you're doing, and your brand partnerships just align. I mean, obviously we've got the Blue Otter, which is unbelievable. Bradley and Luke and all that, and my presenting sponsor, Ag America, we did a deal with those guys. The Like a Farmer Shades, which I saw those. But you've got Kat, you've got Purina. Like, is that kind of your mindset going into these brand partnerships? Like, hey, I want to align myself with something that I'm doing.
Well, from a business standpoint, I think that engagement on socials always takes a hit when you get very brandy. When you start to do a lot of, hey, I'm Riley Green and I drink this or I do this. Because I think that when you actually use it, it's so much easier to post about it. It's so organic. And,
correct.
My granddaddy Buford had an old Caterpillar tractor, and I'd ride around with him on it. And when I started talking with Caterpillar, that was the thing. It was like they came down, and that's always been my sell, too, for these brands. Like, man, just come down to the farm. I'll ride you around, show you some things. And they were souls. I took them over and showed them the old dozer with weeds growing up through it, and I had a Caterpillar skid steer I bought myself, before that deal, and it's so easy for me to post about that and tell that story. It's almost like I'm not even trying, because I'm on my tractor when I get home.
Exactly,
that's something I love to do, and Purina, it's such an easy alignment for me. I'm duck hunter outdoors when I've got Jazz and Carl. And I just think that being a little bit stingy with how you align yourself with brands is really important today. And I think some people maybe do a little bit more of the cash grab and don't pay as much attention to that. And I've always liked to kind of make sure I'm aligned well, and that's why this works out so great as a partnership.
Yeah, I love that. And then you have a recently new one, which is an underwear deal.
Yeah, now there are times when I stray from that a little bit.
And then, I need to show it to you, but so I post, you post the Gildan post, and obviously it breaks the internet. And then I write a comment saying, damn, I was wondering who they were going to choose after I denied it. And this comment got like 700 likes. It was great.
That's funny, man. We actually turned that deal down, I think, for 2 years. Just because I could not get in my head of me doing underwear.
You were working out a little more too.
I'm like, I think about things as a fan.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan of country music. I'm like, man, would I think Jamie Johnson was cool if he was an underwear model? I don't know. I don't know if I would or not. So it's
would I come on Pat's show if he was an underwear model?
So
I don't know.
I finally, when we got together talking this year, I man, if Tell me what y'all are thinking. And we came up with this idea, and the commercial they shot was funny. It was a little self-deprecating. It wasn't me just oiled up with underwear on, It was, and
a lot of people that would like that.
and it was funny and tasteful, I guess. So we ended up doing it, and it worked out great. But yeah, I was not expecting to be doing any underwear modeling in my career. So you just never know, I guess.
You never know. So I've got a segment on the show that I want to do with you, and the segment's called This or That. So I'm going to ask you a this or that question, then you're going to ask me one. I'll answer it.
Okay.
So for yours, are you going duck blind, shooting ducks, or are you going tree stand, shooting big bucks?
That's tough. God. Right now, tree stand.
Okay.
Tree stand
shooting big bucks.
It's got to get real cold for me to get fired up about the ducks.
To even have that mindset.
Yeah.
I get
All
that.
right, let's see. Got to be a fisherman. You like to fish?
Yep.
Offshore, freshwater.
Oh.
You going to the lake? Or are you going
to the ocean?
You going out?
I'm going out. I'm right there at Tampa, Boca Grande. Got a place down on Little Gasparilla Island, and it's tarpon capital of the world, man. I love tarpon fishing.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ocean. Well, you'd go.
You're
in Alabama. You're probably going.
So we got the crappie capital of the world right here in the center, man. I think I got to go crappie fishing in the center. I like to eat them, so.
Yeah. One last question. Who's your celebrity crush right now, if you had to choose one?
Right now?
Yeah.
Who hasn't aged is Jennifer Aniston. I think mine hasn't changed from when I was a kid, which is crazy to think about.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm going Jennifer Aniston, Blake Lively, and Margot Robbie.
I'm on board with all those.
Okay, there you go. Love it. But in all seriousness, I love what we're doing right now, and for the whole year of 2024, the whole tour, I'm super pumped, man. I'm very appreciative of you, and I love everything about you, and we've gotten to hang multiple times. We did the Nebraska concert. We've done some stuff in Nashville, obviously, Pig Jig in Tampa, but I'm so looking forward to building this relationship with you because we're so aligned, and just rural Americans, celebrating them and who the farmer is and where the food comes from, and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show.
No, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all thinking of me, and like I said, this is a great partnership for me, so if there's anything I can ever do, y'all let me know.
Love it. I'll be seeing you a couple stops next year. And like we talked earlier, you are going to be coming to the Strawberry Festival in Plant City, strawberry capital of the world, which I'm super pumped about. But once again, thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, man.
And as always, thank you for all of your support last year in Season 1, and welcome to Season 2. Do the same thing. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.